What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Nintendo Class vs. Crass podcast on this special Super Bowl Sunday night. You guys are at the
Hey,
right
Splort.
place. What's you say? Yeah, sports. As you can see, joining us again tonight, we have another special guest, this time first time comer to Class vs. Crass, JKB himself, Jason Hoof. How's it going?
It's good. I'm doing good. I'm tired, very exhausted, but I'm here.
Long
And
day, eh?
I celebrated a bunch of stuff. My birthday early and work related celebration stuff.
Oh, how early? When's your birthday?
It's in 10 days.
Damn, that's quite early then. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And joining us as usual, as always, the crassy Sean Long, man. How you doing?
What's up, bitches? I'm
That's
good.
it.
No, I'm good. Just tired. Slept all day, pretty much.
You're tired because you slept all day. You poor thing.
I know it's a tough. It was a tough Sunday.
I was
Rough
gonna
Tough.
say
life.
that's really tough.
Yeah, it was.
Tough life.
It was. It was. Someone's got to do it though. That's the way I view it. Someone's got to do it.
I figured.
I should be doing it.
Yeah. Or everybody. Everybody. What do you got in your hand there?
This
Yeah.
this is a promotional item from Fallout 4. Came with a huge box of loot that they sent. It's a switchblade, but it actually is a comb.
Ooh.
That's fancy.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm a bit jealous.
I do this all night with it.
Oh my God. Send one
Yeah.
to Sean. He needs his beard taken care of.
I like this. I'm digging the homeless look.
Yeah.
I feel it's good.
Whatever works for you.
All right.
All right. So if this is the first time joining us on Class vs. Crass, you really picked a bad night to join us for the first time. But really, what we
I didn't pick. Can I swear on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
fucking pick the night. You guys asked me tonight. You guys picked a shit night.
We were like, there's a Super Bowl. Do you want to come on? You're like, screw the Super Bowl. Let's do this.
Well, I
Yeah.
tried to talk my way out of it, but you said come.
Well, it was either Super Bowl or Valentine's Day.
Well, Deadpool would have crushed us either way.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's just football. How many people are watching football, really?
Like a couple billion.
Blah, not important. So, as I was saying, if this is your first time joining us on Class vs. Crest, we usually stick to some kind of format. We usually go over to what have you been playing? That's where Sean and I and our guests go over what we've been playing over the past week in the Nintendo world. Um,
When did that happen, by the way? It used to be we used to talk about anything we were playing. Because for a while you were only playing Xbox One shit. And then like last week you specifically said Nintendo, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I guess he changed it.
so I guess it's been a week since we've. I just feel we should, I don't mind if we talk non-Nintendo what we've been playing, but 90% should be talking Nintendo stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Then we get into the major Nintendo headlines from last week. So pretty much anything we cover in Nintendo and 90, we're going to talk about. We'll share more of that later. We've got some special codes for you guys tonight. Finally got some giveaways for you guys to win. So if you're sacrificing Super Bowl, whatever, you guys get some goodies. Then we go into the Nintendo Fan Showcase. That's where we highlight a member of the community, whether they're an artist, cover artist, whatever Sean keeps showing. What do you keep showing all the time? Modders?
Oh, like homebrew people
Homebrew
and
people, yeah.
hackers and Sprite modders and shit like that.
Right. So anyone who shares their passion of gaming slash Nintendo in any other form besides playing. Then we go into the question round, and that's where you can pretty much ask us anything, launch a topic of discussion, or just say, "Hey, Sean, you look really ugly tonight," stuff like that.
But
Right.
no one would say
Right.
that. No one would say that.
All right. So,
Yeah, who's gonna really say that?
Yeah.
well, there are some out there. So, Jay, for anyone who might not be familiar with you, so you want to give us a little introduction of who Jason Hooft or JKB is, what you do?
Um,
I've heard that.
I'm a reviewer online, and that's about it.
All right.
Isn't that interesting?
Don't be so modest.
Are you in the chat? Can you put something in
Yeah,
there so
I
people
should.
can find your channel?
Yeah, I can put the link to my channel if you haven't heard of me. Um, been doing it for 7 years, and I'm just trying to concentrate on two things. There.
It's hard to concentrate on two things.
Oh, it says you can't put a web
All right,
address.
I'll do it
Yeah, just
because
talk. 7 years.
For God's sakes! Look at
no,
this
YouTube is
chat.
like that. Like if you're not a mod or something, you can't.
There, it's fine. I've put it in slash. There, that guide put it in.
Yeah,
That was
if they click
That
her,
fucking guy.
yeah, that fucking retro tube.
7 years. You make us look young over here.
Well, I've learned recently that I've probably been doing the worst. I would say not the worst, but the wrong thing because I got the same amount of views in Canada doing something else in one day
Hmm.
versus doing 7 years on YouTube.
That's your recent breakthrough, being on the big screen, eh?
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't even I haven't I don't know. It's weird, dude.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Um, I don't know.
Oh,
We
okay.
never had that discussion.
All right. So yeah,
Well,
we.
they put up the ad on that on Cineplex's YouTube page
Mhm.
because that's where I saw it.
Yeah, so if you aren't aware, I am the official spokesman for Cineplex in Canada for their video game tournaments. So you might see me on the big screen. Well, you will see me on the big screen if you go to any movie playing in Canada for the next 2 weeks, and then there'll be another ad that runs for like months, and I'll always be there. Hopefully, I guess.
Nice. Making the big screen a little bit bigger or a little bit better.
But a little bit uglier.
No way, more gamers up there, it's fine. So oftentimes you might see Sean and I actually refer to JKB's reviews. So there's the channel, do check it out. He does review some Nintendo stuff. I personally really liked his Mario Maker review. Sean likes everything he puts out because he has a man crush on him. So yeah,
No,
do check it
because
out.
he doesn't sugarcoat shit.
Oh my God, and his I'm talking like he's not even here, but what's that game? Star Wars game? Is it Battlefront? Your Battlefront
Yeah,
review was amazing as well.
This
that
one.
was that was the best.
Yes.
Um, I also do like special edition reviews sometimes. So if you watch my Star Wars Episode 7 review, it's like I put myself into the movies, and I will never do that again, but it was fun.
Yeah, you're kind of a big Star Wars guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Which is
Huge Star Wars dude.
which is perfect because that's one of the topics tonight
Oh, good.
that we're going to
Good.
be getting into.
I'm going to be very excited.
Yeah, lots to talk about. All right, so let's get right into it. What have you been playing over the last week, Sean? What have you been playing, man?
Nintendo wise, not a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said before we went on the air, I've been playing Freeze Me because someone finally sent me the code late night last night, which I've really been enjoying. I think it's a really fun game. I hope that people. I have this weird feeling that people won't play it because you play as a little girl, and people are just weird like that. But it's seriously such a fun game. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a really fun 3D platformer. It looks really good too.
Doesn't it use the
And
gamepad with for like camera stuff?
well, yeah, the gamepad, like you can hold a trigger to freeze. Like the freezing stuff, like I didn't really understand it until I started like getting into it. Like you have to freeze things. So like for instance, there's when you're getting like little cubes, and like each cube, think of like a star in Mario 64. The cube is a star. So you have to like freeze platforms in order to progress. You have to like on boss battles, you have to freeze certain enemies and stuff. And you can use a trigger um, and control it with the analog sticks, or you can just tap whatever you want to freeze with the gamepad. And that's by far the best mechanic because it's just so much easier. You just you look, you tap, bam, it's frozen. So it's a superb game. And it's only like $10 too. So and
Yeah,
I hear that we might have one of those codes to give away too tonight.
we have more than one. We have a few codes. If you guys want to get a shot at Freeze Me, stick around. We'll be giving those away within the hour.
And then other than that, I've been playing Master System because I've never played the Master System, and I just got a Power Base Mini which lets you play Master System games on the Retron 5. So I've been dabbling in that because I don't know. It's an interesting system to me. It's something I've never played before.
That was the first system I ever played.
Yeah, I never messed. I remember my cousin, or actually he's my uncle, but he's only like 5 years older than me. He had one. He had that and an NES, and I didn't go to see him very often. But when I did, I would always try to be like figuring out what it was. Because I remember the white boxes, and I was like, why are these boxes white? Why is there like not a bunch of color and stuff on them like Nintendo things? So it's a very interesting system. I really enjoy it actually.
Nice. Well, I've been I've been actually playing a lot of the RPGs, like Paper Jam. I got hooked on, put a lot more hours into that. Xenoblade, I'm stuck on a boss now, so I'm gonna have to grind and polish off my skills. And I'm working on another RPG review for this little gem that I'm reaching over to get.
Final Fantasy for something?
No, Sean was doing Final Fantasy. I get Fire Emblem, and I'm going with the Birthright path. So this one's coming out next week. You can get Fire Emblem Fates, Birthright, or Conquest. So I'm doing this one.
Does it
We've
come
got
out next week?
on the 19th.
No, that's when the embargo lifts.
I'm pretty sure it comes out the 19th, doesn't it?
You keep talking.
Whatever. It's in February. Yeah, so there's this one, there's Conquest. Eli is reviewing Conquest, and we're going to see how many differences are between the two games. If there's not that many, we're just going to have one review. If the two games are pretty different, we'll review each one independently. And then there's a third one coming out in March, which I forget the name, but it's Fire Emblem Fates something else.
Oh, it does come out.
Fire Emblem more money.
Exactly. They're using the Pokemon formula though. The whole XYZ.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's 3 games coming out for 3DS, so if you're a fan of that series, you must be in heaven.
Yeah, and it sucks because they sent our review copy was all 3, and I wanted it so bad because I love Fire Emblem, but I did Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, and then I did Final Fantasy Explorers back to back, and I was like, no, I need a break.
How is Final Fantasy Explorers?
I didn't like it.
What is it essentially? Because I saw it in the store today and thought I wouldn't mind, walking around a open world doing whatever. Is that what it is?
It's like Monster Hunter with Final Fantasy characters or with the Final Fantasy art style, and it's not as good as Monster Hunter. And people gave me so much shit. Like, you can go to our review of it, which is actually doing really well. I saw today it's at almost 9,000 views. And people are like, well, it's not supposed to be like Monster Hunter. It's different. It's Final Fantasy. I'm like, bullshit. They literally copied the Monster Hunter gameplay style, didn't do it as well, and put in Final Fantasy characters. It's kind of slow. It's kind of clunky. It's not a terrible game, but it's just very average. Like, I think a sequel could do really well if they improve upon like the frame rate, the animations, and just make it more interesting. But I don't know. It was just very boring to me, which is a shame because I was actually really looking forward to that game too. So it was kind of disappointing, but yeah, it is what it is.
You were saying, Jay, that it's kind of fans of the series are in heaven because of 3 games coming to the 3DS, but really fans of RPGs this year are really winning because I don't know if you've noticed over on the Nintendo side, but especially the 3DS, between the 3DS and the Wii U, we're just getting hammered with RPGs. Like there was Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam that came out last month, and 3 Fire Emblem games. What else is coming out? All the Dragon
Quests.
And then there's Xenoblade on the Wii U. Like, just so many RPGs to play.
It's a good thing, though.
It is. So then over to Jay. Have you been playing anything on the Nintendo recently, or what's your favorite Wii?
In general.
That's a tricky question. I almost said what I was playing. I was at Ubisoft playing a game. For playtesting, you could take a wild guess what it is. I can't say what it is, but I played for a week, and I can't say anything else. So I did that.
Man of secrecy. Can't talk about Cineplex. Can't talk about Ubisoft.
you enter these buildings and you sign your life away when you enter the door. So I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I could say I was there play testing a video game, and you could do the math on what game it probably is if you just think about it. So I was playing that game, and I can't say if it's good or bad. On the Wii U, the last game I played was Xenoblade, and I can't wrap my head around it. I'm a noob when it comes to these Japanese sort of.
It's a complicated game.
It's yeah. I was talking to Happy Console Gamer, and he was like, "Dude, this is the worst game for you to get into if you're getting into RPGs on Wii U or whatever on any system." And I go, is it confusing for you? He's like, "Dude, I grew up playing RPGs, and I don't know half of it. Like, I don't understand half of it." So it's one of those games that competed against Fallout 4, and I don't understand the industry sometimes. Like, how can you drop Xenoblade Chronicles and Fallout 4 basically in the same day or a couple days apart, and then have them duke it out? It's like,
Well, they
here's
don't.
here's an $80 game, here's an $80 game in Canada at least, and they're both going to last you hundreds of hours. It's like, as a gamer now, you got to make a hard decision.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah. I mean, I just dropped a lot of hours into a game, and I wasn't even half done. So I don't know. Xenoblade, I've been playing that. I've been playing Mario Maker, of course, just fiddling with that, trying to figure out if there's an actual way to design a level that hasn't been sort of made yet. Like, I was trying to look at the old Mario games and see if there was something that was I could take from there to sort of use as a stepping stone, but there's 2 million levels now in Mario Maker, and I don't think there's anything left. I think you'll just put it on randomize, and you'll play everything.
Yeah. How do you feel about Mario Maker, like from when it was released compared to now? Do you feel any different?
Well,
However,
I'd say it's a little bit different, and I think Nintendo's doing a good job with DLC and free DLC. I would like to see Mario 2 show up in there, but I know that the game's not designed to be vertical, so it's going to be tricky to do that, and I don't think they want to. I'd like to just at least see Mario 2 characters show up and bad guys that are the same as they were in Mario 2, but interacting in Mario 3 and Mario 1 and 1.
hmm
That would be amazing. Like Birdo and Mouser show up. That should happen. I don't understand why that would happen.
especially
Wouldn't happen.
Birdo, because like Birdo's been
Yeah.
making so many cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep that character alive. They kind of killed Mouser, but Birdo's still popular for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Shoots eggs out of his mouth, man. It's, or her, his. He's
Well,
male, I
it.
think.
No, it's an it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
Remember?
an it.
Be careful because everyone's going to get triggered and offended. Watch, watch out.
Oh,
You
I-
might get,
well,
you might get Alpha Mega Sin's going to show up and yell at us because
Uh-oh.
we said, so watch out. Careful. Triggered.
will do.
I started dabbling in gender fluid stuff the other week, and I had to stop.
Well, let's not go further into that topic then. Moving right on to headlines, let's give away a code. Sean, you have a trivia question for us. Let's give away one Freeze Me code for the Wii U for the North American audience.
Yeah, of course I have a trivia question code because you didn't totally just spring this on me right now.
I gave you a warning 30 minutes ago, which Jay can attest
You didn't
to.
say that I would be.
Well, I'm not going to put the pressure on our guests.
No, you didn't.
A trivia
I didn't know
code.
what you were doing.
Okay, let me think about this while he thinks it through. A Nintendo trivia, a good one.
Do you know anything about rare or obscure Nintendo stuff?
I know quite a bit of Nintendo stuff, but I mean, I grew up playing Nintendo. I just don't. How can I say this nicely? I don't play retro games as much as I play current generation games. I'll just say that.
Oh, that's fine. There's just one guy in this room who does that.
Shut up.
I love people that play retro and make YouTube shows and all that stuff, but I just think the word retro is overused. I'm sick of fucking it. I don't give a shit anymore. I just play video games. So if you want to say I'm a retro gamer, then that's the best thing ever for you. Who gives a shit?
All right, I got a question. How many games are in the complete Virtual
785.
Boy in the complete Virtual Boy library?
27.
That includes Japan. Okay, you're not eligible.
Well, I didn't even get a code. Fuck. Fine.
But you were wrong anyway, so
29.
no.
Oh, look who's in the chat.
Why don't you just get? Why don't we
Yeah,
invite
look at-
Eric
look at-
on here? Random guest. He wouldn't do it. Eric's no nuts. No nuts, Eric.
He needs
Come
to
on the
shave
show.
his beard before coming on this show. Actually, he was invited to this show, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Eric was supposed to do this show
Yeah, good luck.
a while ago, and
He's
then
he's too busy eating his chicken and rice.
He's actually stood us up. We had him planned. We had the thumb planned out for him. I'm like,
well,
yeah,
to
he's coming up
to
with
be fair, it was Mother's Day. Jacob Duffy wins.
Jacob Duffy. All right. Jacob, can you send me a message or something so that can you send Nintendo Enthusiast a message and I'll send it to you after the podcast. So Jacob wins a code for Freeze Me. And I'll hook you
Which
up,
is
Jay, if you want one.
Huh?
Or you
Yeah,
can
get him
probably-
one.
Yeah, I'll
That
get
game's dope.
I can get you one.
Eric, you were invited like it was like a couple months ago. I mean, it was a while ago.
If he doesn't
and then-
believe me, I'll pull up the thumb with his face on it.
Yeah. Let's take a moment to call out Eric.
Yeah, he needs the publicity. He hasn't gotten a lot lately.
Yeah, it's not like he.
He really should have shaved his beard before getting that surge of views.
Oh, he'll do it. I think he must have been, he must have been high on chicken and rice. He's saying he'll do it.
Is this all that he eats? Is chicken and rice?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's
here it
okay.
is. Okay, so you guys won't see it in the podcast, but our viewers can see it. See, here's a thumb made by our wonderful artist, Kimmerson. And that's 8-Bit Eric with the Luigi hat and the Splatoon gun. This is when Splatoon came out. And, it has the whole Class vs. Crass branding. So, there you go.
Bam.
He was a guest on our show. One of our failed guests.
Unbelievable.
He's too big for us,
It's all right, 8-Bit. We'll get you on a future episode for sure.
for sure.
Oh, he's saying it was a spam show.
Yeah, I didn't know it was for this show. I thought it was for some other.
Well, he
sham
probably
pod.
thought it was just one of Sean's shitty podcasts, but
Shut
all
up.
right, let's get into some headlines. So I'm excited to get into the Star Wars ones. Let's just do Lego Star Wars Force Awakens announced, coming to all platforms, and it's going to include some canon stuff that we didn't see in the movie. Did you hear about this, Jay?
You know what it's going to do? It's going to take the novelization and just add those scenes in there. For instance, I'm just calling it right now. It's going to be Poe Dameron getting out of that TIE fighter and getting off of Jakku, because we don't see that in the movie. But if you listen to the audiobook, you get a whole scene where he uses a speeder bike, essentially. Is it a speeder bike? It might be a speeder, some sort of form of speeder bike. And he meets this really cool character, and they have this sort of back and forth. And I'm sorry, spoiler alerts. And he gets off of Jakku because of what he says to this guy.
So it was an alien or a humanoid?
I think it's an alien that detects. I don't want to give it away, actually. You know what? Because I remember what it is right now, and it's a cool little thing that you'll all enjoy if you haven't heard it. By the way, Eric's saying that he thought it was some bullshit podcast with Jordan.
I know exactly which podcast you thought it was.
What is it called? Shitcast?
I forget.
Yeah, who knows?
So you think that's the only scene that they would include?
No, I mean, there's a ton of scenes that are in the novel that aren't in the movie.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get
Nicholas, he's saying, "Wow, spoilers! I haven't seen it yet." I just told you one little scene. I mean, I didn't ruin the ending and tell you that. No, I'm not going to do it.
Oh my god! Don't be that cruel.
I haven't. Well, I've seen it, but there's this one guy that we Skype with a lot, and like he hadn't seen it, and his name's Shadow, and I'd be like, "Hey, Shadow, remember when in the movie?" And he'd be like, "No, I haven't seen it yet." And I did it for like 2 weeks, and it was.
Aw, damn.
so
So mean.
Yeah.
So are either of you guys excited for like I remember Lego Star Wars was great when it came out, the classic, the full saga, whatever. And then
Well, we should say spoiler alert because I might say something. So right now, if you're watching, haven't seen for whatever reason, if you haven't seen Star
ju-
Wars, I'm sorry,
yeah,
but
so
I mean,
just
I saw the movie. I saw the movie with a bunch of friends, but then I also saw it solo, and it killed me.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
All right. So yeah, spoiler alert, put us on mute, and I'm gonna put up the Star Wars mug right here when we are done talking about Star Wars. All
What do you
right.
mean it's over? And somebody's saying it's overhyped. Somebody kick that guy out.
Did you like Force Awakens? Being a huge Star Wars fan yourself.
No, I hated it.
Did you?
Yes, I hated it.
Why?
No. I made a 27-minute review and
I-
put myself into 5 different Star Wars locations, and you're asking me if I liked it. Did you watch the fucking review that took literally 4 days to film and edit?
I'm
with
trying.
Jordan controlling everything.
Yeah,
That
like
was so awesome.
Jordan has a cameo in it.
Uh, well, I was trying to just, be a host and open up the discussion, but I guess we can just go watch your review.
Of course, the man likes it.
I know
Yeah,
you
of
like
course I like it. I think I don't know. I've seen it. I'm not going to say how many times I've seen it in the theater because
I want
people
to
are
go
going
see it
to.
again. I need to go see it again.
I've seen it so many times that I know every single word. I know the script inside out, every shot that I love, and I think I can come to the conclusion now and say it's like my second favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I think it's Empire, that Jedi, and then whatever the fuck became of that
Did you feel
prequel
like
shit.
this with any of the prequels after you saw them, where the first time you saw it, you're like, oh, this is amazing, and then
Never.
slowly you hated them?
We literally watched episode 1 together. We left the theater and contemplated like how we were going to kill ourselves. So that's how devastating it was to us.
Oh, wow. So
It
what?
was really bad because I've never really talked about this, but the trailer came out
Hmm.
and the trailer looked spectacular. Of course, you got the pod racing and the fighting, and it looked like an amazing movie. Then you go see the movie, and oh my god, just unbelievably shit,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And as a fan of the original trilogy, going into that and coming out, you have hope that the next one's going to be good, but you know it's not going to be good at that point in time. So think about that, guys. Like you got a 10-year block, and you're like, we got Star Wars every 2 years for 10 year, whatever, 6 years, and we get excited about them, but we know they're gonna suck. It's different now. Like episode 7 was fucking amazing. So now we have the hope the next one's gonna just be as good as you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a different Star Wars time to live in. Let's just say that. So if you grew up watching episode 1, ugh,
So like
horrible.
for you, just so I can grasp like how it was like for you to get into episode one, when did you get into Star Wars?
I think I was. That's a good question. No one's ever asked me. I think I was probably. I'm gonna say it was 1987, and my mother had let me go to my uncle's, and he lived in Toronto, where I am now. I lived in another town north of here, and he had a VHS tape of Return of the Jedi, and that was the first Star Wars movie I saw, and I was scared shitless of it, but also fascinated with it. I didn't quite like looking back. I didn't. I remember certain characters like the pick. Well, just the guards that guard Jabba's palace.
Oh, with
What
the
are their names again?
Lekatu, the with the
The
Twi'lek?
are they? I think they're called Gormarian guards.
Oh, the pig guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the word for them. I mean, and there's so many characters now, I can't keep up. But though I remember that popping to my head, I remember Jabba scared the shit out of me because he ate the frogs, and I thought that all the characters were going to be eaten by him. But I don't remember necessarily. I didn't understand what Skywalker was about at that time. I just remember thinking really cool characters, and I like watching that stuff. But it wasn't until I was much older where I started to be like, oh, I get it. I get what this is really about.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, you were probably much younger than I was. I got into it when I was like 12, and I started with Return of the Jedi as well. I was like, it was around the time Special Edition came out. I was like, what's all the buzz about? What are these movies all about? And I just picked it up at the library, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I just watched it all. and lost myself in the universe.
I was the same. My uncle was into it, and so
He's like, "Come on over. I'm gonna rub a DVD on your legs."
no, it was a VHS.
He's like, "I'm gonna rewind this on your
Would you like a pop?
toes."
Would you like a popsicle with that
Yeah.
Star
He
Wars?
wasn't a rapist, uncle.
You sure? He's like,
Oh
hang on.
my god!
He's like, hang on. We need to rewind it. Stick your tongue out, and we'll rewind it on your thing.
My Nintendo
Welcome
details
to
came out.
the rapist enthusiast rapist podcast.
It's a wild year. Last week we had Detective Pikachu impersonations. Now we've got Rapist Star Wars.
Hey, anywhere I go, comes with me.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, just wait until it goes on the big screen. I just got
Oof.
fired for saying that, but whatever.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna have
don't
to
care.
lock down this podcast. All right, another big news headline of
Yeah,
Nintendo. Hey,
sorry, somebody's confirming that they're Gomerian guards. That's how. Yeah, that was right. Sorry, just yeah.
yeah, Gamarine. I don't know how to pronounce it. Gamarine, Gamor. Like you know when you always read it, but you never have to say it out loud because you don't have
Ever, yeah. You
friends
know what? I
that
read
talk
the
like
books
that.
now. Yeah, totally. And I'm reading them. I'm like, the character's name is what? And when you hear it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you know
Like
Shadows of the
what?
Empire.
Yes.
It's pronounced Shizor, right? Sh
Oh, that is another whole debate. And at this point in time, anybody that debates me, I go, it's not canon anymore. I don't fucking care.
Right. But
So that's
I spent like 10
it's
years calling
Shizor.
him I called him Zixer for like 10 years. And
Yeah.
then someone's like, "What'd you call him?" and made fun of me.
Yeah, it's Shizor, but I don't care. Who cares?
Yeah. Moving on. All right, another big headline was My Nintendo. We had an investor meeting last week, so Nintendo shared a little bit more stuff. Sean, what came out of that? What is
Uh,
My Nintendo all about?
my Nintendo is actually really cool, and if well, I guess not if, I guess when it launches in March, it'll probably quickly become like it's weird because it'll basically propel Nintendo from like
The underdog.
you know behind Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, and almost put them on an even keel and possibly above it, because basically you're going to be able to
Triggered, triggered.
right, you're going to be able to get rewards just for playing games, get discounts for playing games. There was something about your birthday, on your birthday, you get like a special discount. You're going to be able to purchase games from a computer or mobile device and have them sent to your system and start downloading. There's a lot of cool little features in it, and the thing I care most about is of course, basically getting rewards to play games. I don't know how, they haven't really detailed how that's going to work, but to me, like, I don't give a shit about like trophies and achievements and stuff like that. So like this is much more beneficial to me. I would rather get, discounts and free shit. And I think that there's also something about there's like tiers to the rewards. So like there's a silver and a gold tier, whereas like the silver tier is for your discounts and stuff. And then if I don't know what the stipulations are, but when you get a gold tier thing, you get like physical goods, kind of like Club Nintendo, but like how it honestly should have been the whole time. So
Mm.
it's a very cool thing, and I hope that it launches successfully, because it could be really good for Nintendo, because basically what they're doing with that is they're saying, hey, you can play other systems and that's cool, but if you play our games and our system, you're going to get free shit. So if they could, I mean, of course, down the road, if they can expand with that on the NX, that'll give incentive, because let's face it, a lot of people don't buy third party multi-platform releases on Nintendo platforms for whatever reason. But if there's an incentive where, yeah, you can get these trophies or whatever, or if you buy it on the Nintendo platform, you'll get free shit. That could really help things.
I mean, it's it's not that different. I mean, you can get free stuff in a way with the current competitor offers. If you pay the subscription thing, you get free games every month.
Yeah.
Um, but I like the idea that if you can turn the trophies into into a currency, because right now it's kind of just a reputation thing, saying like, look, I'm able to spend a lot of hours and I'm actually skilled enough to collect all these, because it's not really just an hour thing. Some of these trophies do require a lot of skills to get on the Xbox and PlayStation. So if Nintendo can make not just a reputation system, but like where you can cash in those trophies for rewards, like that's gonna turn into such a drug to me of just like, oh cool, I get reward, I get trophies, and then I get more games to get more trophies to get more games, and it's just a loop that feeds itself, and then you'll find me starved somewhere because I don't eat anymore. Does this any of this stuff appeal to you, Jay?
I like the idea of actually getting a physical trophy in the mail. If they could do that, it'd be pretty cool to be like, I beat the game fully, and you get a trophy. Is there a cat next to you? What the hell was that? It's like a fucking werewolf.
Yeah, behind me somewhere back there. There's where'd it go?
But what I mean is, when Nintendo originally had the plan for the Wii U, the Amiibo thing was one thing, but they really hoped that other games would take advantage of this. And I had heard rumors, sort of, this is behind the scenes shit, that Activision was seeking copyrights for certain types of guns and stuff. And Activision had an idea to, instead of having amiibos and the characters, that you'd be able to go to the store and buy an amiibo, but instead of it being a character, it would be like a little gun, and you would put that onto for your loadouts. So you'd have a physical version of your loadout that you load into the game, which it's it's kind of cool. I like that idea, and but I'm kind of glad they never went with that, because can you imagine like how many third-party games would try to do that, or
It it's
or they did it with weapons? It would be kind of silly.
It's good in theory, but in practice, like from what I've seen, any game that uses an amiibo that you need to have next to you to play and tap it, it gets in the way of gameplay. Like you're playing, and I was in Paper Jam, you can use the amiibo to get extra attacks, and like I'm playing it, and I never think, oh, I'm just gonna reach out for my amiibo to get this. Like I don't know, going through a menu, pushing a few buttons just is so much easier than grabbing a physical item, putting it there, waiting for it to read, then you have to put it back to like save to it. It's just
Like the Assassin's Creed amiibo. Remember that reveal?
Yep.
That never came to fruition because, well, we all kind of know why that never came out. But here's a question for you guys. Do you think amiibos will carry over to the next system? And if they do, how are they going to upgrade these things and make them better?
they're going to carry over for sure.
Yeah. Just because, I mean, they're still selling insanely well, and people are still collecting them. And I know that they've said, President Kimishima has said things like he actually isn't a big fan of how the amiibo are being used now, and he feels that there's still a lot of untapped potential as to what they can do. Of course, he doesn't go into he never really said anything beyond that, but I definitely think it will, just because you have so many amiibo out there. There's still amiibo coming out, and people are still excited about amiibo. Like, I hate amiibo. Everyone in this room knows that I don't care about amiibo. However, that stupid fucking gold Mega Man Legacy Collection for the 3DS, I have to have it. Like, and Ryu and Street Fighter, I have to have it. Like, it's just silly. It's silly and it's stupid, and I don't like them. And I bought that stupid Shovel Knight amiibo, and I've done nothing with it. I literally opened it, made a video of me opening it, and put it on a shelf. But I just like knowing that I have it. I collect, like, to me, amiibo, there's two types of people who like amiibo. There's people who like to collect the figures, and there's people who want them to be active in a game. People are shitting all over Twilight Princess HD because you have to, if you have the Wolf Link amiibo, you get a special Wolf Link dungeon, and they're like, oh, that's putting content, that's basically DLC, that's putting content behind a paywall.
Yeah, well, fuck off.
Thank you.
Who gives a shit? Go buy the amiibo. Don't play the fucking levels. We don't need to complain about it.
Exactly. It's extra. That's what I actually want.
Listen, you know what that is? That's called smart DLC. I don't just pay $14 and get the map. I go outside of this store. I go to the store and buy an amiibo, which is $14, and get to put it on my shelf because it's a Zelda collectible. And you're complaining that when you touch it on the touchpad, it also gives you a new dungeon. Come on, guys. Like, let's get fucking grown up here. We're talking about $14 DLC. You plop it on your controller and you get a whole dungeon. That's smart DLC. How can you complain about that?
The problem, though, that some people have brought up is scalpers. I mean, if there's enough to meet demand, fine. But then when you have a limited run and you can't play that dungeon unless you
It's
pay
Zelda.
60 or
Let's be
70
okay.
bucks.
You know what?
Yeah.
Again, I'm so sick of the fucking triggered bullshit out there. Let me just say this. It's fucking Legend of Zelda. Not to get mad, but the biggest franchise, arguably, on Nintendo. They're not going to have enough wolves out.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
real.
Well, tell me
And
this.
wait, what's the #1 selling amiibo
Probably
in
Link.
North America? It's Link.
Yeah, so, I mean, get real. Stop your arguments. You got nothing. Just go to bed. Take a nap.
Legend of Zelda, they always make enough stuff, so why do they sell things like this? You don't think a lot of people would have wanted this?
Jason,
That's a bit different. That's
thing-
a $300 system.
That you
is
can.
it's also in a line of special edition systems, and that is an item for hardcore fans. The DLC and the amiibo is not made for somebody like you. It's made for the whole fandom of Nintendo. That item you're holding is for you, and that's why you own it.
Plus, to be fair, if you buy the game itself without the amiibo, it's $50 in America. If you buy the game with the amiibo packaged in, it's $60, which is the price of a normal game. So for the price of a normal game, you're getting the complete game plus the collectible amiibo. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with it.
If you argue that, then just quit playing video games. Like, go argue about something else, because clearly you're arguing for no reason whatsoever.
I think it's a great value, like just to get my thought. I always like to throw a different perspective, but I'm not convinced that they're just because, oh, it's Zelda, that they're gonna put a lot of product out there. I think that scalpers is a thing to be concerned about. And while yes, the amiibo is very different than the 3DS because this was a limited edition run, you saw it again with the Majora's Mask special edition case where there was a Skull Kid figure in it. Figure.
That was only no. That was a Nintendo World only thing. So yeah, of course, there's going to be scalpers
Was
because
it?
it was.
Was it Nintendo
Yeah.
World only?
Yes.
I thought you could
It was
get on
Nintendo
Amazon and
World.
stuff. Really?
No.
No.
Only.
Okay, well I'm wrong there.
Anyways, the point here is it's a major launch. This is how I'll put it. If Nintendo doesn't release enough amiibos to meet the demand of the scalpers and the amount of copies sold on release day, it's all on Nintendo. If I'm Nintendo right now and I know that amiibos sell as well as they do, I would make sure that the production level of the amiibo for that video game is higher than any other amiibo that's ever existed, because they know they're going to sell shit tons of copies of an HD remake of a Zelda game that sold really well on the GameCube. So if they don't do that, then I'll come back here and we can yell at Nintendo. But until that actually happens, there's no arguments here. It's $14 in Canada to get an amazing figure. And you know what? No one can argue how detailed they are. And if you're a Zelda fan, to have that character in your amiibo collection, everyone's going to have it. And it's $14. I mean, I don't know what people are complaining about. Again,
And if you have Amazon Prime, you get 20%
Oh my God.
off.
On the complaint though, Twilight Princess HD has been getting so much hate with everything that's being announced. People are like, it doesn't look good enough. Oh, now it runs at, okay, this is
Hey,
another
but
headline.
guess
It
what?
runs at 30
Guess what?
frames per second.
Yeah, but who cares? This is what I've learned in the last couple of weeks, and you'll see my attitude change online. Who gives a shit what people online say? Who gives a flying shit? Even our opinions on this show, they're just opinions. At the end of the day, if you like Legend of Zelda, and I like it enough to have a tattoo of the Triforce on my left wrist, if
Where?
I like that enough and somebody says I don't like it, I'm not going to go home and cry over spilled milk. I don't give a shit if this person doesn't like it. I like it enough, and it means a lot to me. I don't understand why anybody would be upset about anything gaming related, unless it's a game that you pay full price for and then have to pay full price again to actually get the full game. That is a different story because those are two different things.
And that's actually interesting. I saw some people pointing it out in the chat, and you were saying, are we going to see the Amiibo line continue into the NX? I think we're going to see third-party support being much stronger in the NX if it really comes out being as versatile as it's rumored to be. And from what I've learned from this another headline last week from SteamWorld Dig is that while Nintendo owns the Amiibo license, it's actually up to the developers to find their own manufacturer and distributor and take care of
Mm.
it. So if you have a flood, if you have the big third parties coming back, EA, Activision to the Nintendo platforms, without a question, they're going to be making their own Amiibo product.
Of
And
course.
now, how will that affect the market? Because as you just point out, we have a terrible DLC case with Battlefront, where you're just milking the Star Wars fan base for
Mm.
everything it's worth. So now you're going to have these amiibo that maybe they're going to be more expensive, maybe they're going to lock a lot more content behind them. Do you guys
Yeah.
see that coming? Like then amiibo will be a whole new point of discussion. It won't just be, oh, they're cute Nintendo things. Maybe we'll have like half is Nintendo and half is third-party amiibo, and people will hate what those do because they're locking so much content. Would you still say at that point it's as good as say Wolf Link if you have Battlefront amiibo and
It
there's
depends. I mean, if you're using it for some fuddy-duddy character that nobody gives a shit about, then yes. But
Mm.
if you're doing, iconic characters from key franchises, like you're gonna tell me that someone wouldn't want to buy a Darth Vader amiibo?
right. And if EA
Well, that'll
comes to
never happen, but yeah,
why
that would be
wouldn't
Yeah.
nice.
why wouldn't that happen?
There's already a Darth Vader amiibo.
Well, the Disney Infinity.
Yeah, essentially that is a Darth Vader amiibo. So that's why you don't see Star Wars characters in Star Wars Dimensions yet, because there's licensing issues with that, and they don't, like that's a whole other topic. But whatever, like licensing issues are always the number one issue for video games, and people don't really realize that. But Star Wars Dimensions has amazing franchises that are in that, but then you're like, where's the Star Wars stuff?
Do you mean Lego
Then if you look
Dimensions?
into it, you'll see, Disney
Yeah.
basically put a full stop on all that stuff because Disney Infinity was releasing their amiibos, or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
And that's just how gaming works. I mean, you can't have everything at the same time. But to answer your question about letting third parties develop their own amiibos, I think that it's a good thing. I think that if they do it properly, studios can really benefit from that. If they release like a new Mega Man game and it was NX only, can you imagine they released every single boss from the game as an amiibo, and when you put it on, it makes them like more difficult or whatever. Guess how many of those they would sell? Just take a wild guess.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And you got to think of this: that amount of money that they would make on those amiibos would fund the sequel, and it would be a continuous thing. But the problem right now with the gaming community is I don't know. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I'm so sick of the problems. Like people are saying, well, everyone hates this or everyone dislikes that. The real problem with the gaming community right now is that's all media bullshit, because everybody online that talks about video games is reading the news. They're not actually telling the news. They're not going out there and getting the hard facts. They're getting them usually from major sites who have that in. And once that starts to happen, it's just like main media. It's like CNN. You turn it on, you see people desperate for life, and they're getting shot, and there's gun violence. Like, I live in Canada, and if you turn on the news here, it's like the US is a fucking battle zone every single day. But I've been to the US and I know it's not like that. It's just designed that way to put people in fear and blah, blah, blah. The video game industry is under a fucking cloud of fear, and it hurts everything. And people don't realize that. So sorry for that rant, but I've been thinking about that for like a week on how these YouTube shows who just basically echo the news and there's no talent involved, and they do no journalism. Those are the fucking social justice warriors that need to go to fuck off and get out of here so we can enjoy video games.
I
Anyways,
agree.
rant over.
Great, yeah,
No,
good.
that was spot on.
So, yes, if I wanted a third-party amiibo, like let's each name a game right now. third-party game where Amiibo would be spectacular. Even if they took Mega Man 1 through 10, the Legacy Edition, and just released Amiibos for all of the characters that are in that game, those would sell out instantly. So that's my choice. I mean, Castlevania Amiibos for the original, like remake Castlevania in 3D, but whatever. I mean, there's so many things they could do with that.
No,
Where's
literally
the Mario Kart Amiibo? You know, like there's so much coming out.
the potential of Nintendo's position in the whole gaming industry, like in this upcoming transition stage, is there's so much potential, like we were talking about last week. Like you're pointing out, the third parties coming in, matching up with the Amiibo, NX going, talking with your phone, maybe being handheld and a console, just like they can really control the market again. Like it's the early 90s again. If they
And
play,
my Nintendo stuff and all
Yeah.
that, like all the chips are there. They just got to line them up
just gotta
properly. And I think
Yeah.
as much, and this is kind of a bit off topic too, but someone was talking about this. I don't know if I was having a conversation or what, but someone was saying that they loved Iwata, but they like Kimishima's business more. And I'm kind of in that same boat. Like I think Iwata was amazing and his innovations were great, but from what I've seen and heard Kimishima speak, it's like he kind of gets it. Like yes, the Wii was successful. Yes, the DS was successful. The Wii U and 3DS, the Wii U was not successful, and the 3DS was not as successful. So they need to branch out and do different things. And I really like just how he's kind of like he's not as personable as Iwata, but I think he's much more
I don't think he should be.
right.
Yeah.
Like Iwata was a special person, whereas Kimishima is like, all right, we need to do this, we need to do this. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this. Let's fix this. And I think he will really help Nintendo, honestly. Like, and I really liked how when he was first announced as the president, like it was supposed to be a temporary thing. And then he came out and was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna stay around as long as I can. Like he just seems like a good guy to have as the president.
but to be fair,
No.
you shouldn't sell Iwata short. What we're seeing today is still, I believe, part of what Iwata's vision was. Like this new CEO came in, I have nothing bad to say against him. I like him too, but there's no way that what you're seeing now were his ideas and like
To
these
some extent.
to
I mean, you got to remember quality of life was an Iwata thing, which has now been canceled.
yeah, okay, that's good, but like the whole Amiibo idea, the NX, the going mobile, these were all things set in motion under the Iwata leadership, under the Iwata
Well,
structure.
let's just be honest here. Iwata never wanted to go into mobile, and it was very clear to that. He didn't want to do that whatsoever.
He didn't want
So,
to do it the way mainstream suggested. Like he didn't want to have Mario on your phone where you're touching the screen to jump. That's how I understood it. But if Nintendo could figure a way to do mobile in their own unique way, I think they were open to that idea
you know
as
what? Here's the thing. Nintendo doesn't even need to do anything that's going to blow our minds on mobile. If they did just release Mario 1 and it had some special feature and it was literally you push left on a D-pad on a touchscreen, it would still sell more games on that device than any other game on that store because they would become a third-party developer for the iPhone. Are they about to become a third-party developer on the iPhone? Technically, kind of they are. And that's something that everyone's very scared of. If you're a Nintendo fanboy, you're not going to be happy when you're not going to be happy when Nintendo starts to make more money on mobile games than on the 3DS, and then they start to make more money on the mobile games than on the NX, because that's going to sway the whole business plan, and that's something that I'm a little scared about. And I'm not talking about like tomorrow or next week. It'll be a process, and we'll get the NX, but again, mobile gaming is taking over, and I don't think nobody talks about that, but mobile gaming makes more money in a month than some major games out there that we love playing, but it's
was a
it's a
business.
shame. Like I don't consider mobile gaming a platform, and how is Nintendo going to fit into that? So that's a question I guess we'll answer eventually.
Yeah. No, gaming is its own thing. I agree. We don't acknowledge it. Sean doesn't play it. I don't play it anymore either. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of money to be made there, and I see a lot of developers, indie developers, they try to get their games onto mobile, or they abandon console development to go into mobile because it's just less
Yep.
risky for them and a better return on their time. Like they can put the same amount of time and get more money. It just makes more sense as a business model.
But I guess the credit I have to give to Nintendo, the most credit I have to give to them is the way that they've handled DLC and the transition between AAA titles on other systems were planning to be chopped up and delivered to us in episodes. Like we already know this. We know Final Fantasy's coming like that.
Hitman's another
Deus
one.
Ex, Deus Ex, the part two was they had a plan to do that as well, but they really skipped it at the last moment. What's the other one? Hitman is
Mm-mm.
episodic as well. All of these major games were on this path that were almost like our mobile games, cut up into little chunks. You play them, then you go buy the next version of it. And I don't even know how I feel about that, but I'm curious if you guys agree with me or not. But do you think NX, because it's going mobile and it apparently works with the mobile systems and its own mobile system, do you think there's a chance we'll ever see a Mario game split up? Like we'll get World 1-1, World 1-2, or whatever, like the overworld map of like World 1, and then in 2 months, World 2. Do you think Nintendo would ever go that route?
Sean?
Uh,
Because this is also the reason they also did it, because you get quicker dev times to get things out. So instead of releasing a whole game at once 3 years from now, they just focus on the first map, get that out, the fans are happy, but there's some shady little corners that we have to deal with when it comes to this, right? So do you think Nintendo is going to do that maybe with that's the big deal? Because think about this, guys. If the system is portable and it is a home system, what if the idea is that yes, we're going to release a chunk of the game here, but you can take that chunk with you on the go, and maybe that's how they're going to tie in the mobile aspect. So that there'll be a little chunk of the game that plays really well on a mobile device or the system's mobile device. But when you get home, it kind of links it back up and then release it in chunks. So it'll be like mobile update one, mobile. You know what I mean? Do you think that's possible?
I have a pretty good opinion on this. Sean, do you?
no, no, you go. I gotta turn off my
All right.
fire.
So when you're talking about these games like Final Fantasy, Hitman, I can understand breaking them up. I don't like it as a gamer, but as a business, it's safer, and you can kind of feel the market more and adjust your game and invest less in the development of your game to see kind of how it's performing. So as a business standpoint, this is brilliant. And if you can do it right, where the consumer feels that they're getting good value, and at the end of the day they're getting the whole game without getting ripped off, that's fine. In Nintendo's case, I would absolutely hate it. Let's say if you did Mario, uh, and also I think it goes against Nintendo's kind of core belief. Nintendo believes that they know how to make good games, and part of dividing a game up into episodes is a little bit to minimize the risk. So if you don't believe in your game or your brand that much, that's a good way to say let's see what the market thinks about this piece. And then if it sells well, oh, we're on the right track. Let's do a little bit more of that. And you kind of saw that with Sonic 4 when they were doing that episodic. They would put one, it was okay. They put two, wasn't warm enough, they canceled it. Uh, and for Nintendo to do that would be to essentially acknowledge that, hey, we don't believe in our brands as much as we did before. And I think for that step to happen, something big has to happen. But I'm like if we're seeing some of their major IPs, like there are rumors right now that Star Fox Zero is having a lot of troubles with its motion controls and that it might not be a good game. Like if Star Fox flops, if one of their major IPs flops like that, they might eventually, and they have more IPs that flop, they might consider that approach where they test the waters with games that they invest 10% of their money. Oh, the market liked that. Let's invest more money and release more episodes. So it could. I don't like it, but I could see how it would happen.
Well, I think all of us have played the Star Fox game. No, Sean?
I
Sean
haven't.
hasn't.
So Jay and I played it in Toronto last summer, and yes, the motion controls were not perfect, but you could get used to them, in my opinion, after a few minutes with them. But yeah, I mean, it needed a little work, but to say it's a disaster and people are scared, I think that's a bit. I don't think people should be scared.
Well, I wrote an article actually after playing it in Toronto because I played it on the E3 show floor and I got scared because I love Star Fox and I hated that game. I was there with my cameraman and a few other guys from Nintendo Enthusiasts. I say play this first time and everybody was crashing into walls and everything. It was terrible. It was a mess. Everybody couldn't understand the controls. So that's why when I
Mm,
went back to Toronto, I went in with a freshman. I'm like, all right, just this isn't Star Fox. Let's just let this game teach me how to play.
mm,
And I kind of approached it from a different angle, and I understood that the levels were broken up into different segments requiring different kind of controls.
yeah.
Some required the more traditional look, just look at the screen. Then, oh, okay, now I need to look more at the gamepad. And when you let the game do that to you, it was more enjoyable. It was intuitive and it was fun. And I wrote an article saying that this might work. But that's based on a demo. It's one level. I don't know how the other vehicles play, how the other levels play. Um, but that's Star Fox. That's something else. Sean, did you have an
Yep.
opinion on this episodic Nintendo games?
Me personally, could it happen? Maybe. Would I like it? No. I'm not a big fan of episodic games. I don't like episodic games because I think one of the biggest problems with episodic games is that you release an episode and then it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And I don't ever, I mean, I could be wrong. I've never really looked at statistics or anything, but I always feel like episodic games would kind of like start at a peak and then go down because less people are going to buy the future episodes either because of current money issues or the just the loss of interest in the game. I would prefer I prefer like I'm not a huge fan of DLC, but I would definitely prefer DLC as opposed to episodic because at least I'm if I really like the game, I can get additional content. Whereas I guess you are making a less of an investment in the episode. I don't know. Episodic is just tough because you're basically encompassing season passes and whatnot, and basically making a season pass like the whole game. And I would rather buy a game and not like it than buy a small. I don't know. That doesn't make sense either, though, because you'd be spending less. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's something I've never really thought about, I guess. But as far going back to the Star Fox thing, I actually had before that rumor broke out, I had someone about having internal problems. I had someone contact me, and someone that I've talked to for a while, and it looks like our direct messages are gone. That's great because I was going to read them. But essentially, what they were telling me was that they were saying that there was that one of the problems with Star Fox was um, it basically like a communication issue. Whereas when the complaints from E3 were given to Nintendo, instead of fixing them, they exasperated them and focused more on the motion controls and more on things like that. I don't know how true that is. This is a good source to me for a while now, so I don't know. I think Star Fox is going to be a very interesting game, and I've heard that there's still doubt about the game, but it is what it is. To me, I'm more concerned with whether or not they've included any sort of multiplayer, and I haven't heard that they have. I don't think anyone has heard that they have. So, um, Vanquish 2 is a different contact. I just don't. I don't know. See, when a contact fails me, I get rid of that contact. So I haven't talked to that contact since E3 2015. I don't know what to expect from the game, and that's unfortunate because you would think that something like Star Fox would be so easy to do because you haven't done one in so long. Like, make it look good, make it play good, put it in multiplayer. What's the problem? But it'll be interesting to see how the final product turns out.
Absolutely. Wow, that really expanded into into a lot of topics. I forgot what kind of launched that, but good discussion. How about we give out another code right now?
Yeah, I just read your message. Piece of shit.
So we have another code to give away for the 3DS. So we do have another code of Freeze Me later on the show. Also, you might notice that we are at the 1 hour mark. We usually wrap up this podcast. Jay, I want to extend it a half hour. Is that okay with your schedule?
Yeah, I'm good. Naked, no pants on. Let's
Oh,
do it.
nice. Adding some mystery. More mystery.
It's
I
not a
like it.
mystery. It's fucking sex.
All
Right
right.
to the face.
Well, you don't stand up, please.
That's the last thing I'm doing. So get ready. This is the porn enthusiast coming to you live.
With you and Sean, yeah.
Oh,
we're
we're
gonna
gonna fuck.
Yeah, live on camera.
He
Please
lives
don't.
somewhere else, but we're gonna get that technology done by next year.
Yeah.
Unveil it.
Would
Anyways.
you teleport the whole body or just the
No,
bits
just
that
his
count?
dick. Why would he need his whole body? Get
Yeah.
real.
Just the important parts, right?
Yeah, and his beard.
Nipples? No.
No, just his beard and his dick.
All right, you got trivia for us. So what's this game we got? We got a 3DS game, Lionel City Builder 3D Rise of the Rails.
What the hell is this game?
I don't
What
know.
are you doing this?
I don't know.
It's-
John, tell the viewers what you do in this game.
It's a city builder, and you customize a train and you drive it through. Choo choo.
Okay, great. Sounds great.
How do you win this, son?
You answer a trivia question that I will announce right now. When the Game Boy Micro released, how much did it cost in North America?
In Canada or US?
$89.99.
I mean, U.S. I forget that you people are different than me. All right, in the U.S., how much did it retail at? The Game Boy Micro
When it launched.
when it launched.
Okay.
I don't think it ever went down because
Are we gonna wait on this answer?
No,
or-
we won't. We need another trivia because I want to get rid of all of these codes. So we got one more code for Freeze Me. Jay or
I
Sean.
want a code. No, I'm kidding.
Don't you'll get your code, don't worry. But we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
give one to
baby.
the audience.
Audience gets shit. All right. What's the next topic?
Next topic. What is the next topic? We talked about. Oh, we have Undertale. Have you played Undertale? If you haven't
No.
played it, there's not much to talk about. Undertale might be coming to the Wii U, but none of us have played it, so there's not much to
good.
talk about.
We're good. Yeah, we're good gamers.
The other one was Minecraft dominating the Wii U eShop. Do you play Minecraft?
Surprise.
oh wait, we have a winner. Where did it go?
Who's the winner?
Some nerd with a bad username.
He's always winning games on this show.
He's good.
All right, send me a
There you go.
message on Nintendo Enthusiasts. Some nerd with a bad username. I'll send you your code, and you can enjoy building your trains and going through your cities. All right, do we have a Freeze Me trivia piece?
Jesus Christ! Back to back.
Yeah, let's get rid of him.
Yeah,
So-
why do you want to dump him so quick? No, you should save one until the end.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Okay, we'll save it. So now we go into the Nintendo Fan Showcase because we've gone through all the headlines. I didn't have one last week, so Sean said I'm not doing one this week, so I'm the only one with one. So this week I'm featuring an artist, which I'm going to put up now, and Sean and Jay won't be able to see who this is unless they have their YouTube browser. But this is a really cool piece of fan art of Zelda I found, and it's drawn by what's his name? Aaron Fowler. You can find him on DeviantArt at aaronfolio.deviantart.com. And it's just a really cool piece. This is really epic. I love it. Came across my Twitter feed. Zelda standing on a bunch of skulls with the Triforce on the moon. Just looks awesome. And another fan I want to highlight is the song you heard just before Class vs. Crass started. That was actually performed by Gabe Ocarina 96. So if you type that on YouTube, he does a bunch of metal covers for a bunch of video game songs, and he's really good. I'm gonna showcase him a little bit more. Like he's got a lot of songs that are worth listening to. So just go check that out, Gabe Ocarina 96 after the podcast. All right, and now we go into the lightning round of questions and topics. So if you have any questions, any topics you'd like us to discuss, if you have any special questions for our guest, Jay won't be here every week, obviously, so get your questions in. Any topic suggestions you want. Floor is yours, guys.
I have our trivia question, by the way.
What is it?
I'm not gonna tell us.
I got the
now.
question. How long would
It's a sex question,
Nah,
isn't
not-
it?
Never mind. I don't got a question.
The answer is 5
But-
seconds.
No, definitely not. Look at him. His beard with my beard touching, legs
Oh my
entwined,
God. If it'd be dark, would we just see
ankles.
like little blue static sparks?
No, there'd be blood.
Oh.
So let's get some questions from the audience before I turn
What?
this into the fucking.
My God, yeah. But there's a bit of lag, so we have to kind of have some small talk until the questions start coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, we got
Good
one.
job. Good job. What is this? What is this?
You can,
Google?
yeah, wait, Sumner with a bad username, you can either contact me, the any website or me, whichever one.
Nintendo did bullshit with Fire Emblem Fates, cut it into 3 parts and sell them at full prices. Shit. The special edition with all the games cost $150 in my country. That's bullshit. What do you think? Um, yes and no. I think it's cool to have a special edition that has everything. Obviously, that's the one they want you to have. They probably did not think of smaller or other countries besides Japan, Europe, and North America. And it is kind of shitty, but it's kind of weird to me because I don't Fire Emblem, they sell decent, but they're not like super great. So it's kind of a weird franchise to do this to.
Also, I don't, it's not really dividing the game because you're getting the same game and everything, but you're getting two sides of the story. So to put that in the same game, I feel it's a good way to divide it. It's not like, it's like, do you want to take the path, this path of the story, or this path? It's not two different stories. It's two takes on the same story. And then the third one, I don't know what that is. That's extra content they could have put together.
Because it's kind of like just extra for the fans. I don't know. Um, which Bayonetta win pose your face me is the face one, ass up one? I haven't even downloaded it, the Bayonetta stuff. I
You
don't.
take the weirdest questions.
It's the second fucking question.
Do you think the NX will be in 2016 or 17? And Sean and I both say 16. What about you, Jay?
It's got to be this year. It's got to be.
2016.
I don't think the whole thing is coming out this year, but maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo will try to make the Metroid formula evolve in the next game? I say yes, and maybe that's why we haven't seen one, because for all intents and purposes, the Prime trilogy is over. Um, so I don't think they'll necessarily go back to, like a 2D home console one. But I think you might see something. I don't I don't know. That's interesting. I think it has to stay. I would like for it to stay in the first person, but maybe a blend, kind of like uh, other M was, but better. Like more, like some instances you explore the world in first person, some instances you explore the world in a side view or something. I don't know. Um,
Isn't
that's what
that
I think.
that's other M?
You know what? You know what? It
No,
needs a new dimension. If they took the formula of Toad's Wild Tracker, what is it? What's that game called actually?
Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, Treasure Tracker. Can you imagine Metroid in a Treasure Tracker camera and setting where the levels sort of like you can play it anyway? I think that might be the next step to move it from side scrolling to 3D. Not all the game, but can you imagine just rolling around like Marble Madness style on a map? I think that could work.
That would be fun.
That'd be interesting, yeah, as segments.
Exactly. Like to go from first person into a segment like that. They try to do like the 2D thing where she's a ball. It's kind of like pinball, but I think they should borrow from some of their other franchises. Also, I'd love to fly the ship for God's sakes. Can you imagine a Metroid game that was
Yes.
open world where you could get in the ship, go to a planet, go through the atmosphere, explore the planet, and then piss off?
And upgrade your ship as you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Customize it.
that's what Metroid needs to be. It needs to be a first person open world Metroid game with minimum a solar system to explore.
And
And
then
I'm
you
talking
can
about like other pirate ships coming to take your loot and make it all about loot. Like I would play the shit out of that game.
create your own little Metroid farms, and then you can sick your own Metroids on the pirates.
Oh, it needs to happen. Really needs to happen. See, That's the thing about Nintendo. We've got the same formula and the same games, and over the years we get an upgrade to it. So it went from Mario 2D to Mario 64, which was a huge upgrade, and then some would say from 64 to Galaxy was another upgrade because it changed the formula.
Hmm.
So what we need to see are games that we know and love, but the formula just needs to change, and it'll basically last another generation. So if you take any Nintendo franchise and just toss it into another genre, some of
Yes.
them are horrible ideas, but imagine an open world Metroid game. Imagine what's like another game that this would really work well in. What's
For open
do you,
world?
do, yeah, no. Just like
Star
take a
Fox.
take something that's already existing with the same formula and just try to toss it onto a different formula, like Star Fox
Wait,
as
they
an
did that.
adventure game. We already
They
did
did
that, and
that,
that
yeah.
was years ago.
And it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
No, it was okay. Like I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
It got
It
nines,
wasn't,
eh?
huh?
It got
It,
nines. It was
when it
reviewed with
initially
nines.
came
Yeah,
out.
well, that's when people suck dick for fucking 9s out of 10. So realistically, I think, like, can you imagine? I'm trying to think where Mario Kart could go.
Splatoon. Splatoon and Mario
Yeah,
Kart.
well, I don't know if that's a big enough idea. Well, yeah, you could put those together.
But Mario Kart is an extension of essentially like Mario, I feel what they were exploring way more with Mario in the 16-bit era. Like they were doing all sorts of crazy things with Mario. Let's make learning games, let's make racing games, let's put them in everything except a first-person shooter, pretty
You know what
much.
I'd like to see? A Mario game that has no platforming in it, and it's like a full-fledged click point and click adventure game.
Whoa. That might work well
Okay.
on a handheld.
Yeah, well, guess what? There's going to be a handheld that you can take on the go. I'm just saying. And a lot of people have that argument about, playing on a bus, playing on the subway. You're always in motion, so you're not really invested into the game. You're playing it, but you're not looking at the story. Like we can all say that the stories on mobile games are very fluffy. Like they're just there because it's a game, right?
Mm.
So I'm guessing here's what I always wanted to see. I wanted an open world Legend of Zelda game where I could play it on the big screen and then literally take the device and just fish. You know what I'm saying? Like have a pond, little map, load up on this device I take on the bus and just fish, like grind. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Fish and have a fishing game, a mini fishing game, and then get home and put the system back in, and it would change the whole game. Like you would see people saying like, "Oh, I saw you went fishing today." Like the characters can talk to you and be like, "Hey, you went fishing. You caught this many fish. Here's what you can do with them." And it could be about crafting, right? So while you're on the go, you just grind, and then at home is the essence of the game. That's what
Yes.
I want to see with the NX.
On the
Like imagine Metroid, the open world game. Instead of playing the full tilt game, just design little games that we can take and play in the go, but they affect the main game when you get home. That's what I really want to see.
I'd love to see stuff like that too. Mini games
That,
that enhance the bigger one.
yeah, it's
Yes.
actually pretty genius.
That I've been saying that for years, and I really have a feeling that that's what they're going to do here. I think that this device, the NX mobile version, is essentially going to be the next version of the 3DS. It will play its own carts that will also be able to be streamed to the television. But I also think when you just pop in a disc into the NX home system, the system in your hand will download portions of that game, not the full game, because I think people are going to be confused here because Nintendo is not going to abandon just a mobile device. So think about this, guys. It's a device that you can buy separately that you put carts into. So it's another 3DS and it's going to be great. I mean, look at how many 3DS games that are out right now that are fucking spectacular on the 3DS. If you put that on the Wii U, some of them would be okay.
Mhm.
But now just expand it just a little bit. How's Nintendo going to get back into your home? They're going to say this system at home is the full-fledged game, and it doesn't really matter if you have one or the other. But when you have them together, you can do these amazing things with the games, just like you can do with the amiibos. And I think Nintendo has learned the lesson that people will pay money to get more good DLC. And I wouldn't say that Nintendo has done a lot of DLC, but Nintendo has learned the lesson with Mario Kart. $14 was it? And it literally made the game double. in
Yeah.
terms of tracks. Best DLC of the year. It was incredible that Mario was expanded by $14. That's all they need to do here, guys. They just need to make the mobile device have a download link between the system, but also have the ability to release games only for the mobile part of the system. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, think about it on this regard. The main system talks to the baby system, downloads games and portions to it.
Mhm.
Think about it in this regard. What if let's pretend this is the NX mobile, right?
Yep.
And that's all I have. That's all my parents can afford. This is where I think it's going to really be big. What if I tell you the NX mobile system has a new Zelda game, right? But when you connect it to the big screen without a Zelda game in the main screen, like the big screen up there, it has exclusive features for playing on the TV. Hear what I'm saying? So it goes in a big circle, a loop.
Right.
And that is the key to this system. If they don't connect these two things, the home system will die eventually. Like it won't, I'm 20 years from now. But my point is, the Wii U was a bit of a misstep. The 3DS has been glorious. Now they just have to connect them. And I think that this mobile device, and you know how there's people are saying like they work together. I think that news is sort of on point, but people are just getting it wrong. I really do think like the home console downloads to the mobile console and vice versa. So if you go out there and you buy just the mobile console, you'll always want to go out and get the home console because there's tons of stuff that these little carts do on the home screen as well.
Right.
So consider the little carts as an amiibo essentially, but full games, full-fledged 3DS games on the go, like Luigi's Mansion 3. Then, sorry to rant so much, but just take it one more step. What if there's a Luigi Mansion on the mobile and then a totally different game on the home console? If you buy them both and it does something crazy, then that's seriously what I want, because they'll sell double the amount of games, double the amount of systems, and double the amount of amiibos if they do different things on different systems. Everyone will want to buy everything.
Yeah, that's a solid plan. I think you
Rant.
gave Sean a
That's
boner right
that's
there.
what I pray for.
No, I think that would be genius, honestly. And I think a lot of people do hope that that's what it ends up being, is something like that, where there's a benefit to both, and owning both will expand everything.
Now, does the handheld system need to be in 3D? Fuck no.
Nope.
No.
That's dead.
I honestly think that they can make two versions. I don't see why they couldn't make two versions of that handheld device. And I got to just bring this up really quick. If this handheld device is as good as a 3DS, but it also is a really good controller for the NX home version, think about when they start to release NX mobile devices that are specialized to Legend of Zelda. You know, you already own the Legend of Zelda Special Edition there. I bet you that's not the first 3DS you own. Maybe it is, but I know a lot of
No,
people who...
it's not.
Exactly. There you go. You own more than one. So wait until they start releasing a golden NX mobile system. But guess who's going to go get it? Because that's also my personality when I go and play with my friends on the television. Hear what I'm saying? It's about showing off, and Nintendo's always been about special editions. So if I bring over my Zelda Special Edition controller
Yeah.
with my own data, and it's like affecting the main game that we're about to play, holy shit, it could do so well. They need to stay on that track.
They should hire you, man. You're so full of ideas.
Well, I mean I don't just echo the news online. I actually think about my opinions.
Yeah, that's refreshing. No, that's good. Sean, did we have more questions, or can we get to the final code, or did you have more thoughts?
Can anybody find me somebody to love? Jeremy Stubbs wants to know. And I told you I'm going to get you a hooker one day. All right. So our final question for the Freeze Me code for the Wii U, North American code, is a tricky one. I went with something different.
12.
It's maybe
5 seconds.
All right. So in Mega Man X5, all of the bosses are references to a certain band. What is that band?
Metallica.
Seriously, I did not know
Anthrax.
this. I didn't know they were named after a band.
Yep. Well,
That's
they're
also the-
inspired. inspired by a band, but it's pretty obvious. Mother 3 Rumors, I don't care.
That's the last Mega Man X game I played.
I don't know the answer to that. So that's a good question. Can you fuck Jason, Sean? Which Jason? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Can
Okay,
you-
why are people saying numbers?
Because I made a joke.
Oh. Peter Ortiz coming through in the clutch.
Guns N' Roses? Really?
Yes.
Yes.
What were their... We have to look up what these
Now,
bosses look like.
can you guys name the bosses from that game?
I can't.
Can you?
I know that one of them was Duff McWhalen.
Wait a minute.
Do we have any more? Who got it? Somebody got it.
Peter...
Peter Ortiz.
Who
No,
won-
not D-Dave. That's for damn sure.
So
D-
Pete,
I
yeah.
don't even think they have a Wii U.
Do we have another topic on the docket?
No, we're actually at the end of the podcast. Dude.
Oh, for God's sakes! You woke me up for an hour and a half only.
You were
I'm kidding.
sleeping? I thought
No,
I woke up
I
Sean.
was sex. I was having birthday sex.
Oh, that
I'm
explains why you have no
I was
pants.
actually at Red Lobster.
Oh,
I wish I had a Red Lobster around here.
no, that
No,
place
you
is
don't.
terrible
It's
now.
horrible.
It's just full of
Horrible.
salt.
Yeah, it was
That's-
horrible.
It's
That's
like,
fine.
let's just eat
I
salt.
ate it tonight and thought, why am I?
Why
What's my
are you-
birthday? I want to live another year, not fucking die of
Yeah, red. That's
wheels.
an odd choice. Did you have something else on your mind though, Jay?
Oh yeah, you don't want to ask me that.
All right.
No,
so we
you
got-
know what?
Here it comes.
I do have something else on my mind, but
Is it good stuff?
no, I just wanted to talk about one final thing.
What's that?
And maybe you guys want to talk about it. I want to know why the Fine Brothers
Oh,
video
jeez.
hoopla was such a big upset to gamers. Like, why did all of these gaming shows have a hissy fit about this and do news stories and all that horse shit?
On the Fine Brothers?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm curious.
no, that's a fair question. I could tell you why I made one.
Okay,
I-
yes. I'm literally not calling you out here.
No.
I'm just saying, I don't understand it. Like, people were saying, Jay, what's your opinion on the Fine Brothers? I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care. And then people are getting angry at me because I'm not sticking up for the communities. I don't fucking care either. Who cares? Because the moment you start to stick up in the community, realistically, those people who are going out there, I'm not even going to get into it. Whatever. I don't agree with making a video about it. I don't get why. That's it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I talk about video games and I have an opinion on them. What does the Fine Brothers have to do with anything that I do on my show? So I'm curious, why did you make a video, dude? Well, I know the answer to that. But anyways, why did you?
I made a video because I didn't like what they did to Eric, because Eric is a cool guy. And Eric has been a big supporter of this channel, and back from when we were like really small. Like he actually just randomly gave us a shout out saying that he was binge watching us, and I've been talking to him for a while. And I was just thinking, like, that is pretty bullshit what they did to him. I'm gonna make a little video about it just because it angered me how they were restricting. It wasn't even necessarily the whole React World thing. I thought that was stupid. I didn't like how they blocked his videos worldwide, because that's a shitty move.
The problem though, dude, I have worldwide blocks on like 26 of my reviews. I make no money on them anymore. And what's the difference between a block on my review and a block on a reaction video? Well, I don't get why people got so upset about this one company trying to block videos. Every moment somebody's being blocked on YouTube.
But this
and why did this blow up?
This wasn't just gaming though.
Yeah, I think it superseded. I think it made it more about a YouTube thing than just a gaming thing. And I mean, I guess because the React stuff is a bigger part of YouTube, and it's not necessarily gaming related just strictly.
And I think the irony too that there was the miscommunication that they were trying to trademark React and that nobody could react, and there was the irony that everybody was reacting to not being able to react. If you kind of understand what I'm getting at. So
it is funny. It's kind of funny. Let's be honest.
so I mean,
You know,
how do you kind of stick it to someone who says you can't react while you show them that you're reacting, right? And how you do that is through
the
video.
thing about that video is they never said you can't react.
But
you know?
Right? They tried to brand it
Yeah, they tried to brand their show, and it was a misunderstanding, and they didn't do a very good job of explaining it. I mean, to keep going on that topic is just ridiculous to me.
Oh, and I agree. Like, I think some people made like follow up video. Like, okay, someone like Eric, okay, he was directly impacted by that. So if he wants to make a follow up video on the situation, that's fine. I was one and done. I just wanted to say something and move on with my life. I didn't really care. Did it get blown out of proportion? Yeah, it did for sure. And I think people making video after video about it just kind of
Well, they're trying to
Yeah,
hop on the
yeah. I'm gonna
bandwagon
I'm
right
gonna
now.
just say the truth here that I
yeah,
believe it to be. If like this is ridiculous. The gaming community and everybody making videos, they go nuts because they want views. That's what I'm just gonna say. I don't care if
Well,
people are mad at me.
Jay,
Who gives a fuck?
I agree with
But
you on that.
let's talk about something else here really quick. In the same fucking month, Sony tried to literally copyright the word let's play, which is the biggest form of entertainment on YouTube. And how many people made videos about that, and how did that blow up? So that's why I'm so confused, and it just makes me think that all of this is bullshit. It makes no sense. It comes down to the drama of it all, and whatever is the most controversial causing issue online, everybody jumps on board like they have some sort of say in it. Nobody had a fucking say in that. It's all about YouTube's horrible, shitty copyright system that flagged Eric's videos. Nobody at that channel sat back and watched Eric's videos and clicked the button to fucking block them. They just simply, I know this because my music that I've given out to everybody, like you use it, like literally 100 channels use my music. At the push of a button, I could be the biggest dickhead ever online and say, boop, everybody using my music is now giving me their money. And the copyright system does not have a human behind it. It's all the info I put into it. And the moment I hit enter on the keyboard, it starts doing algorithms to find basically my data on other videos. The moment that happens, it flags it. The Fine Brothers didn't sit back and go, Eric, we're taking your video down. How many videos have we seen about the shitty, horrible, it's the worst part of YouTube, the copyright system.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you
So
are
I'm just asking people to be a little bit more, I don't know, look into things a little bit more. I mean, if you like drama, that's awesome. But I'm just personally so sick of it. And that's why I wanted to bring that up and see how you guys felt about it. Like after you make 5 videos about it or 4 videos,
No,
great. I mean,
it's the cool
that's
thing right
actually
now.
It's beating a dead horse.
It's right now it's making fun of the Flame Brothers. That's kind of the fun thing and the hip thing to do.
Yeah,
Like,
and
look,
that's,
I'm cool. I'm making fun of these guys too. Look at me. Um, but
I don't know. Maybe I do sound super bitter right now about something, and I'm so done with trying to play into what's popular on YouTube right now to exist on YouTube. I'm not a fucking echo of the news. People who literally just read the news and then read it into a microphone and give their opinion, that's okay because they're giving an opinion on something. But people who go out there who are basically talking about being these, superheroes and saving the day and giving the opinions. The problem is when you do 90% of the time, your opinion is the majority opinion of the community. Something's a little weird there, especially when people are saying, social justice warriors are bringing down the internet and I hate social justice warriors. These people making these shows are fucking social justice warriors.
Right. Pushing agendas
So,
and whatnot.
yeah, pushing their agendas. What do you think those people are doing? So I'm sick of it. Just wanted to bring it up. I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care if this causes friendships to fall apart. If anybody calls me out and they're bigger than me on YouTube, I'll fucking come at them. I don't give a shit. So done. I'm done. There's my rant.
nice. And if you want more of those types of rants and just raw Jay, do head over. Jay, I don't know if you can type into the chat again, but
Yeah.
Jay has his channel there, JKB, and you can get more of his raw rants.
I've made a lot of friends on YouTube in 7 years, and then I've literally lost friends in moments where people have said things to me that, just recently I'm not going to say who it is because I don't give a fuck about this person to say the name anymore. I said something on this. I said it's all about drama and all of that shit. And this person posts all of my comments on my Facebook, and he's telling me, take the dick out of my mouth, and it's more important than that. Okay, calm down, you fucking social justice warrior. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear your echoey fucking bullshit anymore. Get out of here. That's it. I'm done with it.
No, man, you're doing good. Like, just,
Well, no, I'm just doing what I do.
I
But
mean,
I just
don't carry
final
weight.
word of advice. If you're a YouTuber, stop watching other YouTube channels. I know that sounds ridiculous. Support them. If you like somebody who does something, definitely go support them. Watch some of their videos if you must, or do collaborations. That's the best way to get to know people. But please stop watching what these certain big YouTubers are doing and just do what you want on YouTube and have fun doing it. Because the moment you start to look at these other channels, 7 years later, it'll start to influence what you want to do online. And you don't become the person you were meant to be. You try to copy these people online. And it's unfortunate, and that's how YouTube is. Just be yourself.
That's a good reminder to us, Jake, because we're a much younger channel compared to you at only 2 years. So,
Well, I mean, you've done very good in 2 years, so let's be honest here. The thing about your show is you personally don't go out of your way to be somebody you're not. When I watch your show, I'm watching you talk about a video game, right? When I watch Sean, it's just Sean talking about video games, right? There's no secret agendas behind that. There's like Sean's not trying to be somebody else. It's just a dude in front of the camera who loves video games. And you clearly at Enthusiast, actually across all of Enthusiast, all of the websites, you guys don't get enough respect in the community. So I just want to say that publicly. And that is because you don't start shit online and call people dickheads and fucking, you don't cause drama. You're about the video games. And guess what? Unfortunately, you need to cause drama in the gaming community to be super successful. But in my personal opinion, you guys are more successful than people who have 100,000K who are talking about fucking dicks being sucked on their show all the time.
is that what we talked about on this podcast?
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about something. We're talking about a topic that means something to us, and that's all a podcast should be. We shouldn't try to be another podcast. We just be ourselves and have a conversation. That's it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Thank
you for the compliment too. That sincerely means a lot.
Well, that's another thing about the gaming community. You just caused me to go on a rant, but I'm going to just lay this out on the line exclusive for you guys and then do it on my own show because I have a lot to say, and I'm going to lose some major friends in the next couple of months online because they're not my friends in the beginning anyways, so fuck them. When you start doing YouTube, you're going to get a lot of people coming up to you saying, let's collab, let's be friends, and you're going to hang out with these people in real life. I'm just going to lay this on the line. 8-Bit Eric deserves so much more credit than he gets in the gaming community. And people just look at him as he is the Joker, like he's the fucking punching bag of the game chasers. This guy had the best panel at Too Many Games last year, back to back. His panel was the most entertaining panel I've ever seen. Did I see anybody else from that convention go out of their way to say Eric's like amazing? Yes, maybe in front of us in the group, but I never see it go outside of that. So I just wanted to shout out to that. And I just think that there needs to be more support for the actual people in the community that are not fucking stuck up know-it-alls. And I think that the stuck up know-it-alls can go fuck themselves.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
All right.
So that's it.
I love
I
that.
mean, I'll keep ranting if you want me.
No. I mean, it's good stuff, but I mean, save some for your channel, man. Like we need to wrap this one up.
I do it for fun, man. Like, I'm a gamer. I've gamed since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't need the fucking internet to tell me that. And I do a show because I like to share my love. And if some fucking jerk off's going to come on my Facebook and tell me I'm wrong, he can go fuck himself.
For sure. Yeah,
No,
don't give him some attention. Don't give him anything to work with.
No, that's why I'm not mentioning names. But
Nah, you're better than that. You don't need to mention names.
it's good. It's good that we've had this talk because I've been thinking about this shit forever. And, another thing, I'll just keep fucking ranting. What the fuck is going on with Gamester81's channel? This guy's been a fucking legend in the gaming community. for longer than all of us, and he's the nicest dude I've ever met. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and his fucking community are a bunch of babies to him. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand it. Like, his views are down, right? And
Yeah.
I don't get why the gaming community can't support what they love. Like, grow some fucking balls. If you're gonna watch this show for free, support the guy by at least watching his videos if you're subscribed to him. If you're not, get the hell out of there. Like, I am just so frustrated with the gaming community right now, and I just want to come online and talk about video games, but people like to cause drama and create this fucking false,
Oh man, you gotta keep in your lane and just kind of take the high road,
well,
and
totally.
you do what you gotta do what you love,
But
and see
I
what.
do agree with that.
But
Like,
yeah, why isn't
Gamesters,
Gamster's a
Gamester,
fucking legend, and it's like people can't support him. Like, I don't get that. It just
yeah,
doesn't make sense to me.
he's
You know?
sincerely like one of the nicest people that
I
in the
just don't get it.
community.
And he's
And
got such, and then you get other people. I'm not going to name names on this thing, but you have other people who are just fucking completely fake, and nobody notices it.
right.
Like, if you got this guy in a room alone and said, "How many games do you play for real?" This guy's going to answer you, "I only play the games that I have to do videos on. I only got into gaming because I realized that I could be popular online." You know what I'm saying? There's people like that who maybe had a fucking PS2 back in 1998, but that's it. Like, it's just, to me, is just so frustrating that the worst fucking YouTubers are the biggest ones. Why is that?
Because trends.
It's just baffling, and that's why I don't take it seriously. It's like, I could either make a YouTube video and have a great time with my friends. Oh, and so the Bad Elf says Gamester backed the shitty retro VGS. What if he was just being sincere and trying to make something? Maybe he didn't understand it as much as he should have. I don't know the whole thing about the retro VGS.
Ooh, I do. So, I mean, God, the retro VGS, like, it was good in theory, poor in execution. And the reason he backed it and talked about it was to create awareness about it, because it's not going to be on your mainstream websites. It's not going to be on your front page of IGN and stuff like that. And two, because Collector Vision Games, which is a company he's a part of, was creating games for it. So why wouldn't he talk about it? I talked about the retro VGS on my personal channel because it was something that interested me. It was a new project in the retro community. And I'm talking about the rebrand of it, the Coleco Chameleon, just the same, because it's something that interests me. And there's, whether the market is there for it or not, I'm not the one to decide that, but I am interested in the product. I am interested in what turns out with it. So, I mean, to me, it's not a huge deal. Like, it's
no, dude, you know why it isn't a big deal? Because it isn't a big deal, and people make it a big deal because Mon Sama just said in there, drama equals cash online, and the gaming community is fucking drenched in drama. Let me tell you how many times I go into studios around all of the US, and the number one thing that most devs say to me that they don't read comments anymore or feedback, even though they do in a certain degree. There's teams that do that, but the art, here's the problem. If I work at a company and I'm making an amazing open world game, and I worked on, let's just say, the game set in Japan, and I make this amazing map and it looks just like Japan and it's spectacular, the best you've ever seen in a game, but then the guy next to me makes the worst mission layouts in my amazing map. The moment that game goes to review, most reviewers out there will go, "This game is fucking shit, it plays like shit." Does that guy that actually did the hard work on the map get any recognition? Does anybody talk about that in the video game? No. It's like so shallow. It's the amount of depth that this whole community is lacking, and the shit that is rose to the top is ridiculous. Unbelievable how it's going to, I don't know how it's going to, I think honestly people are going to leave. Like Gamester81 is an incredible YouTuber, and somebody said, drama equals cash, and Gamesters will never be popular because he has no drama. That's what somebody said in the comments, and I believe that,
I do too.
So rant over.
You said that like 5 times already.
But I'll keep going if you want. But
No,
I
we're
don't.
we're we're going to invite you again though, because I mean, I love your opinions. You're very passionate. You speak from the heart. You've got some
I get
great
angry
points.
because there's kids out there that message me and say, I watched this guy's show for 5 years and I just realized this guy's a fucking dickhead. And these are kids I'm talking about, 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds who are so heartbroken that they realize that the person that they've been watching is actually a dickhead. They've come into their own age and realized, wow, why the fuck am I watching this idiot? And it's like, it's so depressing to me that that's what it's come down to. So on my show, just to say now, it's just no nonsense over there. I'm just going to talk about video games. If the news comes out and I want to talk about it, I'll fucking do it and talk about it any way I like. I'm not going to make anything that has to be over dramatic. I don't need to talk about that stuff. And you guys over here never really do that. And the reason you made that video is to stick up for Eric. And I salute you for that, because who else did it? Did the Game Chasers make a video for Eric? No. Did they have to? No. Did they mention it anywhere? No. I don't. Well, Billy did maybe, but my point. I'm not saying Game Chasers are shit for doing that. They're very busy dudes. I'm just saying in general, how many people actually stepped up for 8-Bit Eric there, and how many people did it for views and for money, and how many people actually care about 8-Bit Eric.
Right.
That's a question you should go to bed thinking about.
There we go. And on that note, we're gonna have to call it an end here on Class vs. Crass. Very heated discussion tonight. Almost hitting the 2 hour mark.
It's not heated. It's just the talk we had.
It's
I don't
heated.
fucking care anymore.
It can
I
be
don't care.
passion. I'm not accusing you of anything. It's fine. I love this talk. I'm just saying we need to end it. We can't we can't do a 6 hour podcast.
Come
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah.
You fucking echoes. Let's come. Tell me what you've done that's talented. Come on, show me.
Who are you talking to?
You'll figure it out one day.
All right, that's fine. So, Sean, to close it off, what can we expect from you this week?
Well, some asshole's supposed to fucking add something to
Oh
a video.
God, it's happening. It's
upload
happening.
the video
Busy.
because I said, "Hey, can you add this one thing for me because I'm a terrible editor?"
Stop being
And
a
he said,
bitch.
"Yeah, sure." And I gave it to him. I believe I gave them to him on Tuesday and said, "Hey, let's release it in the middle of the week." And it never happened. So hopefully this week on the channel you will see this from us. It's a cool little video I made. And Freeze Me review. I'm not handling that, but it is hard at work. There are no other reviews out for it right now. And I don't really have anything planned per se for the site this week, but just the usual news. I'll probably drop my article that I've had sitting on the back burner for a while, and that's about it.
Awesome.
People are saying there's so much salt. Everyone's saying salt. Well, yeah, I wouldn't have so much salt if I didn't have to deal with so many fucking slow ass snails.
Oh, Jay.
Bang, bang!
Jay, what about you? What can we expect to find on JKB? Anything coming up?
I'm gonna make a rant video that's gonna end my friendships with a bunch of people. Your cat's gonna fucking kill you at the end of this podcast.
Sounds like it. Jeez.
I'm gonna review. I'm working with somebody huge to do a podcast where we just basically talk about video games and have a good time. And if anybody doesn't like what we say, we're going to go after them because I don't fucking care anymore. I'm also doing my own podcast. My first 4 guests are Victor Lucas, who is basically a legend in Canada for video game journalism. If you don't know who he is, definitely check him out. My second guest is Mark Meir, who is Commander Shepard and an amazing improv actor on stage. He goes to London. He does 50-hour improv sessions. Can you imagine doing that?
That's crazy.
On stage in front of a live audience. My third guest and fourth guest are Elias Tefexis, who is Adam Jensen from Deus Ex. He's also in the new show on Sci-Fi called The Expanse. And my last guest, who I just booked, is David Hayter, and I don't need to say who that is. So it's going to be fun on my podcast. So I've got 2 podcasts, potentially 2. I am in talks with somebody else, somebody who's pretty big. And next reviews, Far Cry Primal should be showing up soon, and The Division obviously will be showing up soon, and there's a few other games.
Nice.
Very cool.
If you want some dosage of non-Nintendo stuff, do head out to JKB and check out his podcast, his reviews. For myself, I'm busy with Fire Emblem Fates. That review's dropping in a week and a half or so. Probably not this week. Helping Sean do stuff, doing stuff for our upcoming event, EGLX. So if you remember, I talked about that last year in
Hey, I'm a
November.
guest at that.
Yeah, you are.
I'm coming to
And
that.
yeah, it's in Toronto, Enthusiast Gaming Live Expo. Do check it out at the end. And at the end of April, if you want more details on it, go to eglx.ca. What is this cat doing around here? Holy jeez.
Hey,
Just
dude,
kill it.
is there any? Well, are there? Oh, I shouldn't bring this up. I was gonna say who's confirmed as guests. I guess we don't know yet.
You'll have to wait for the announcements, the official
Sorry,
announcements.
I just outed that I'm going to it.
Well, yeah, you just.
I hope I'm going because I just invited myself.
No, you were invited. You were announced at the before we delayed it, so you're
I
good.
wrote that up.
Yeah, Sean did the
Oh,
write-up
yeah, you
too,
messaged me and you're like, what should I say here about you? Because I don't know who you are.
and that's how the bromance started.
No, it started
So
way before that. He sent me his underwear. I sniffed it, and it was love.
wonderful. He actually mailed you stuff. See, I actually had to wait and beg him to send me Xenoblade for over a month, but he just generously sends you dirty underwear like that. All right, yeah. So I'm working on trailers for EGLX to hype up that event. So sorry, not much from me on Nintendo Enthusiast these days. But I'll be back swinging with some big features. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. It was great having you. It was a fun night. And we'll see you next Sunday on Class vs. Crass. Until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say.
Keep it crassy, motherfucker.
And on that, we are signing off with some. Oh, I gotta play the song. Right
Just
now,
end it.
Can they hear us still?
they can hear us still.
I missed
Titties.
them.
We're playing some music right now.